So in this webinar, actually, what I'm trying to like convey, which is regarding to the some practices which we have been doing for so long, and some of the strategies which we could include in our lessons. So that is the one which I'm trying to like convey over here. It's more than most of the strategies maybe uh, you all be aware of, but how to execute in the lessons, even if it is an online and offline lessons, how can we do that? So those are the areas which I'm trying to include in this webinar. So most of the things are used one. I mean, the strategies are used one, and it has its own impact also. So hope I'll be able to convey that to you all. So thank you for joining me in the beginning itself, and let us start our webinar right now. Here I'm sharing the screen. Hope all of you could see it. Hope my screen is visible for everyone. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. So mainly the strategy is to enhance learning in classrooms. So being an educator, a facilitator, what we try to do, like it's more than the teaching, as always everyone used to say, and even our school also like believe in that. Learning is the area which we have to work on, making the children more independent and how they can do that by themselves, right? So this webinar is mainly based on the strategies to increase the student engagement in the classroom. And most of the techniques are practical techniques and real world examples. So I would like everyone to like just scan this QR code. And it's just an icebreaker session where I would like to know a little bit more about all of you. So when you scan this QR code, you will be getting a link to the Mentimeter. So please go there, and there is a question for you all. Just to know about you all, we didn't meet as in together till now. So I just want to like get some information about all of you. So that is the reason why. So please scan the QR code.
Can you please share the code? I
Uh,
couldn't see the QR code.
so on the screen, it's not there.
No, I think the
No,
screen
ma'am.
shared is like it's a WhatsApp, and another one is one Teams link.
Okay, so screen, I can, 1 second, sir. So I will share the same QR code in our WhatsApp. So hope you could get it over there. So I just now share the QR code in WhatsApp Future School Admin Group.
Okay, we got it. 1 second.
Yeah. Yes. You can just write the name over here and 2-3 words about yourself. That's it.
It's okay for me. It's working for me.
Yeah. Hope it is working for everyone.
Yes, it's working for me also.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, I have even shared the link. If somebody is facing issues with QR code, you can use
Okay.
this link.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay. So that is just for the information for myself. It is nothing which is related to the webinar, but I just want to know about you all. So that is the reason why I just asked you to do this. So as an educator, yeah. So now I hope you could see my screen again, where this QR code one, so everyone could see it. My screen is visible, I hope.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that information will be kept with me and I will be like going through it. I would like to know more about all
Yes,
of
ma'am.
you. So that will be done for sure. Okay, thank you. Thank you for spending your time for like entering this entry. Okay. So now, so before starting it, so I always believe in few of the quotes. The one is about Mind and umbrella have one thing in common. They are useful when they are open, otherwise they increase overburden. So that is for our educators and not even only educators, for everyone. So once you are entering to any of the new learning phases, we always have to believe one thing in our mind. This is like, yeah, nothing is giving us burden. Instead of that, while we use it, even if it is strategies, techniques, whatever it is, once we use it, that will help us. Otherwise, if you are keeping it closed, if you don't have a growth mindset, so what I believe, like, it will be like feeling us like a burden. That is the first quote for everyone. And second one, children must be taught how to think, not what to think. This is a wrong area. Sometimes we all make mistakes where we always tell them how to think, right? Is it right? Is it how to think, or what do you used to ask? We used to like what to think. So that should not be happen. Instead of that, children must be taught how to think, not what to think. So keeping these two cards in our mind, we'll begin right now again. Okay, so coming to the strategies, there are a few strategies which are, I told you in the beginning, commonly used in our lessons, where every time we start with a term called scaffolding. Scaffolding to pace learning. To increase the speed of the learning, we use scaffolding. So here it's like what is meant by scaffolding. So it's always necessary for the children to make it like to understand where they have started and where they have to start and where they have to end it. So while we are giving an information to them, always start from the simple to complex. Even if it is a paragraph, even if it is a mathematical problem, it's even if it is a history based anything, always start from the simple to complex. That will be like while scaffolding, we can help the children to understand better. And that always increase, like while they are able to do the simple step properly, for sure by end of it they will increase their confidence and they will come to their end where they will be like feeling like yes, I can do it, and they will end to the result where they will be able to do their best. And understand our children, who are they, what are their personal needs, what are their learning styles. So about the learning styles and what are their needs, that I will discuss in the further in the session itself. There is another area of it, so I'll explain to you. I'll explain to you, we will discuss about that in the further one. And here one example is also given. So right, we used to just tell about the class dojo activities, right? In our school itself, we used to tell about the activities where we are giving a creative writing, we are giving some other activities where they will be reading. So for those activities, instead of assigning students to read a paper and then write about it, we have to scaffold it. Yeah, this is a vocabulary in this creative writing, or these are the vocabulary which you have to use. This is the article, it is related to this one. So once they are clear about the roadmap, once we scaffold the children about the roadmap, it's not necessary we are telling everything about the activity, but by are making it too simple to complex, by scaffolding them, it will really help them instead of just giving it and asking them to do it. And there are different ways of scaffolding. So most of the things like we all are using in our lessons, like without knowing it, these are the scaffolding techniques we are using it. So usually we believe in 12 steps of scaffolding, which are starting from you getting, yeah, I mean, first you have to set a goal for the children. So in this method, you have to be, you have to scaffold the children with the learning goal. What is the outcome of the lesson and what is a learning goal which we have it? For every topic, every activity, this should be the first one which we have to consider. Put a goal for themselves. It can be a short-term goal, it can be a long-term goal. Depending on the activity, please make sure you are giving a goal for the setting a goal for the child. And while setting the goal, another step is about the assessment steps. Assessment is the first thing. It is not necessary that you have to do an assessment after you introduce a topic. While you start a topic also as a pre-assessment, we can do it. So that is also one of the technique which we can use part of the scaffolding, creating assessment steps, smaller steps. It can be a right yes or no question. It can be a 1 or 2 mark question. Before the topic, we always believe that after the end of the topic, to test the knowledge of the child, we do an assessment. No, it can be done in the beginning of the lesson itself, the beginning of a topic itself. Where do the child stand? So always create the assessment steps just after goal setting. And third one, which is metacognition. So this metacognition is a technique where we are telling the children that what they are thinking right now. It's like thinking over, thinking, overthinking. The scaffolding approach requires learners to self-reflect on how they have arrived or their current thinking or ideas about something, and then seek to learn from the process. Through the process, what they are thinking and using their brain, like using their metacognitive uh, cognitive area to understand what they are doing right now, how it is related. This can be done in this metacognition part. The process they should understand. Along with that, what is an how they are reaching to the end conclusion. That is also should be done during this step. Next one is mapping. All these are mapping is also like one of the scaffolding technique strategies where you can make the children to map it, what they have learned, what they have understood from the learning. Yes,
Sorry
yes.
for interrupting. Ma'am, are you trying to move the slides? It is kind of stuck for me. Like it's not
Uh,
moving for
Ma'am, could you see scaffolding strategies slide on the screen? Right now
me.
we
No,
are
ma'am,
on.
for us, the icebreaker
The
slide.
Sorry, could you please repeat?
icebreaker slide, ma'am.
No. Actually, the screen is not moving. Actually, I think you are sharing the other one.
Yes.
You are not sharing the
Yes,
presented one. Yeah.
icebreaker slide only.
No,
Still in the icebreaker?
Yeah,
no.
we
Yes,
can
Actually,
we could.
no. Actually, I
icebreaker.
think, ma'am, I think you are sharing the presentation and not the sharing the original presentation and not the
Uh-huh.
presenter screen.
Okay, so sir, you couldn't see it, right? Still right now also I'm in the icebreaker.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
and right now you are actually showing the screen which has the entire presentation. That is the
Oh, okay.
presenter view. It's not the
Oh,
audience view.
okay. I didn't notice it, sir. Sorry. Yeah, sorry for that, teachers. Will be so I'll be share. I have to share the window screen, right? No, entire screen. So let me try once more here. So could you see it's right now is the icebreaker on the screen, and I have changed it into the
Yes, ma'am.
thoughts.
Yes, now we can
Yes,
see.
X.
Okay,
Now
thank you,
it's moving.
thank you. Sorry for it. Yeah. Okay, so this was the first thing which I have introduced in the beginnings. It's about the thought. It's like one thought about mind and umbrella have one thing in common. I just told you about it. This is the screen which is about it. So we have to use our brain as well as the mind, and it should be open. You should also have a growth mindset. That is the first thing. And children must be taught how to think, not what to think. This is a basic thing which we have to keep in our mind as a facilitator. So these are the two things. And I have just told you about the scaffolding technique as a first strategy. So scaffolding is a technique which used to increase the speed of the learning or the pace of the learning. So first you have to chunking the goals from simple to complex. We have to start at making the topic should be from simple to complex. It is not like we are just giving the topic and asking them to do just read and write, not like that. Make it into like simpler ways. That was called scaffolding to I mean chunking goals, and which helps the children to like increase their confidence also, and personalized activities based on the learning styles and what are their needs. So this part of this personalized activities, I'll give you some input based on it in the ongoing session. We have to understand the learning styles of the children for sure. And this is one example is also given here, how like what is scaffolding. So when you're giving a topic, give the vocabulary first, then what is the roadmap to reach the result. You can have a discussion about it. It's not like just giving all the information about it. Instead of that, making into simpler by giving first read a paper, instead of giving a paper and asking them to read and write, first give the vocabulary of it and then ask them to summarize it in their own words. And then after that, by the end of it, ask them to discuss about the relevance of writing it and relevance of reading it. So always put into like different steps that can be done in the beginning. So this was a beginning which I have discussed already. And some of the other strategies which we can use in the lessons, activities, which are goal setting. First, we have to put a goal for the child, and it should be goal should be set in the beginning, and they should know why they are learning it. What is the learning outcome of the particular topic that children are? We should respect them, and should know why we are putting a goal for themselves, and what is the need of that topic when they are learning it. It's part like learners will understand it, but as a facilitator we should have a clear idea about why we are teaching them this. So for that, please put a goal for your child and always do an assessment. That is the second step, creating assessment steps. So usually we do believe only at the end of the lessons or end of the activity we need an assessment. Sorry, it is wrong. Instead of that, pre-assessments are required. In between the activity there is an assessment is required, and by end of it also it is required. And metacognition, it's about thinking over thinking. I mean, making them aware of the situation and asking them to like think about what they are doing and what is their self reflection. That should be included in the scaffolding strategy. Mapping, that is also like we have children in our school which they used to draw and learn by themselves, by sketch and learn by themselves. Even if it is a science topic, if it is a creative writing, is it is any topic technology oriented, they like to map it and learn. So understand those children and help them to do mapping and do it. And then next one is modeling. Modeling involves the instructions first showing like we are becoming a model. Actually it's part of that one only. We are showing like what exactly we need from them and how to solve a problem, like walk through the problem, ask them to walk through the problem and to understand what to be done. So finally children will be able to do it independently. It is not about we are showing everything to them. Instead of them, we are giving the environment where they are giving a problem and they're understanding it. And organizers, so organizers is one also I used to use in the writings and while learning maths, right? So these are organizers. And flipped classrooms, which we are using very commonly in our online lessons, where the children will be asked to, it's a very interesting and excellent strategy where new material is given to them and we'll ask them to prepare based on a link which we are sending to them, and based on that they will do a lesson. That is flipped classroom, video oriented lessons. Some links will be provided to them for the self learning, and then when they come back they will do it for ourselves, and they will prepare the lessons, they'll come and do it. And then friend loading, other which friend loading is also something similar to the beginning which we have mentioned. It's about the scaffolding, the vocabularies, the top vocabularies of the lesson, or it can be related to the terms, anything. That is called friend loading before the lesson what we are doing. And prior knowledge, yes, that is also important. Whenever you start a topic, whenever you are starting an activity, please make them understand the importance of the topic and what is connecting that with their previous learning. That connection is very much important. Instead of going with a new topic every then and there, when you enter with a topic, tell them where they what they learned before. So complete mapping is required. It is not like one particular day you went and asked them to do this. So they have the full free the full right to know where they stand before with that topic. So that should be started from, all of us should start that from the beginning of the activity itself. And in the beginning, as I told you, always start from simple to complex. Start easy and then go to the complex. And the last, not last, the second last, think, pair, share. So it make the children understand. I mean, we can make the or we have rooms. We can make the paired activities. We can ask the children and ask them to think about it. Then they discuss the specific part of the content and with the classmates or with their peers, and then ask them to share it. So give them a 5 minutes time or 3 minutes time, or it depends on the topic we can give it. But what do we suggest? As in the beginning of an activity, if you are giving it to start the activity, please give 3 to 5 minutes of time for this think, pair, share. I'll always ask them to think about the activity and you pair yourself and then share it. Being online, we can put them in the group as an elbow partners, one with the other member, and then we can do it. And then another one is collaborative learning, which we all are very much aware of the collaborative learning. Right now, we are doing it very well in our lessons. So involve the grouping, involve the children in different activities, learning. That is collaborative activities. That is another good scaffolding strategy. Okay. So if anyone have any queries about any of the topics which we just shared right now, with the strategies which we shared right now, and how to implement it well in the lessons or the activities, you can ask me right now. And then only I'll be moving to the next slide. So what anyone is having any doubt on it out of these 12 strategies, scaffolding strategies, please let me know. So I can give you 2 minutes of time for it to if anything is there, you can ask me, or else I'll proceed to the next slide.
Regarding the flipped classroom, actually, we use the same methodology at Hashfuture School, right?
Yes, sir.
So is there any understanding, like, have you got any different understanding on that? Is the methodology that we follow right, or is there any other
Yes, sir.
strategy?
It's almost same. The only thing is that instead of giving the direct information about the topic, we will be giving the references, more of references. So what I like, instead of giving one link to the child and ask them to prepare based on the link, we can give multiple links, which is related, leading to the topic. So what I have seen, one mistake, not over here, it's like everywhere when we think about the flipped classroom, the teachers or the facilitators directly give the topic to the child, just like one reference, okay, one link, prepare based on what I have given right now. Instead of that, make them as a research also can be included part of the flip lesson. So give references to them as a different links, which is good links, which we can give to them and ask them to prepare and come back. So I think that can be done instead of that giving directly one link and asking them to prepare and come back and do a lesson or something like that.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah,
That's a good one, good information. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So instead of direct, like instead of like just spoon feeding the direct information, this can be done. Yeah. So then
Thank you.
any other, sorry, yeah. Any other techniques, teachers? Would you like to know about it? It's like most of the techniques may be using by ourselves in our lessons, but not knowing the name of it. So if you have any queries, you can ask me, or else I can move to the next slide. I hope all are clear about these techniques. Anyway, I'll be sharing this with you all so you can refer to it later. Okay. So now moving to the next one, as we are following our Gen EAI, right? I mean, our project is happening. So that technique, it's very well common in the schools right now, everywhere where the project, real life project-based learning, integrated project-based learning, it's called PBL. So real world projects will be given to them and they will be getting a chance to the public demonstration and they do self-reflect on themselves. So there are so many topics which are community-based topics. Yeah, right now in our school we are focusing on AI there. That is very well advanced compared to the normal schooling which we have seen. But this is an important part of the learning journey nowadays for the children to connect with the society, to their community. So more of community-related topics also can be included part of the learning through this project-based learning, which is called PBL, like a duration. But only thing, again, one thing is that giving a rubrics to them, giving a road map to the child. Again, yeah, a problem is given. So a few examples of the PBL, which are, it's like few of the examples. One is our Gen AI project, which our children are right now, they are doing in our school. And another one is like, it's about the floods. Okay, flood which is happening in the summer season. So what is the reason for the flood which is happening in the summer? It's a question. So children will not think about it. Why flood is happening in the summer? So then they will think about the geography of the country. Yeah, so there will be so much of mountains, ice will be there. Not mountains, sorry, the snow will be there. So during the summer, what happened? Global warming is happening. So from the global warming, uh, these uh, uh, these mountains like this snow will be melting and which leads to the flood. So they will connect with it. So give a question, pose a question, probe a big question to them. From there we have to take the project, giving a question, giving a problem, and they will come up with the solution, how we can like avoid this problems, how we can solve this problem. So what all we need to give, project we have given, a question is given, and after that we have to give them a roadmap, this way forward, like what to be done, as like in this particular stage we have given in our projects also. First phase, this will be this one, and then a milestone presentation, and then after that we'll be having different steps, so that they are supposed to know it from the beginning when they start the project. And then a rubrics to assess, okay, what I am doing is right, is this is the one which I'm looking forward in my project, or this is the one thing which I'm looking forward, my team, I mean my teachers are looking forward, or my community is looking forward. So give your rubrics to them. So that is very much important. They have again full right to understand where they stand right now, where I have to go, and what is my end result. So always integrate project based learning in our learnings in the classes, and it will help for, and they will self do the self reflection also by end of it. And they are the reflection, they are the one who are doing the self reflection by themselves. And yes, as a facilitator we can also guide them at the end of it, where, and in between also. So this is a PBL, which is project based learning. And connect learning to their own life, another strategy. So I have told you in the beginning about the mapping part of it, right? So if the children are encouraged to explain the concept relating to their own life, so many topics we can like link like that. If we are connecting them in that particular way, then it will be more like happier for them to learn. So you could see the journaling process, even between among all of us, there will be teachers, there will be facilitators who are doing the journaling by themselves. So make them understand these all are also the learning techniques which we can include, and this is the way of making it like more engaging. So make them aware of it. So connect learning to their own life by different methods. There are so many. I just mentioned only one, which is sketchbook style journaling. And we have seen a lot of impact when they are doing this by themselves. The children who are good in sketch, drawing, painting, and creative part, they could really like uh, every subject. It's not even like one topic. Every topic they can learn by this way. So connect learning to their own life. And design thinking for leaders. So design thinking is another way where like we can empower students to make like ownership of their own learning by involving them in the decision. So it's not only a topic based, like we have different programs as part of our school. So like our Christmas program, Onam program, whatever the programs are, like Independence Day. So involve them in their our discussion, which we do usually, right? We have seen so much like in our school, we involve our children into the uh, process, and we'll ask them their suggestion. That is very much needed. Even if it is one thing which we are doing, that is required, involving them in the process is the most important thing. They are partners in our education. Like I would say, more than the parents. Yeah, it's part of the school. Yeah, they are also like our stakeholders. I'm not saying the parents are not the one. Along with that, children have the responsibility and they should always involve in our discussions. It's part of the topic, even if it is part of any of the process, they are also have the full right to be part of our decision making things. Differentiated task. Okay, so this is the area where which uh, is not, I have not seen very common in our I mean, India, I didn't even see this as very common practice. I don't know how much it is changed right now. But when I started my career in UI, from there, this is a new learning which I had, which I never did in my schooling. We're understanding the children through an assessment in the beginning by understanding their cognitive ability and their skills, like which skill they are good in it. So I, like, we know that some of the times we will be asking a child who is not good in mathematics to do well in mathematics. We'll be asking them and forcing the child. Instead of that, understanding, yeah, this child is good in spatial activities, this child is good in verbal activities, this child is good in non-verbal activities, and based on it, while we are giving a task to the child, that impact is like unbelievable. So I was not the one in the beginning. I used to follow this technique of differentiated task. Later, when I understood the child, when I understood the basic need of the child and what is that child really demands from us, that is the very easy for us as a teacher or as a facilitator. We will be so happy that the involvement of the child which comes in the learning is unbelievable. So there are so many free assessment as well as like paid assessments which we have it, where we can give in the beginning of when the child is like a I just started the school. In a school, we can give these assessments to the child, and from there, based on the data which is provided by the assessment, we can understand where the child stands, which skill the child is having. So it is not necessary, it is not necessary to do all the things by all the children, right? So it is always necessary to understand what is suiting them. So for that, this differentiated task will be really helping them. So skill, based on their skills, we should understand. After understanding the skill, we'll be assigning tasks to the children. So I remember in one of the uh, meeting which we had with our with sir, he told about higher achievers, I mean high learners, slow learners, and then average learners, whom we should concentrate more on. So actually that will come under this differentiated learning. So there will be children in our class, they are like higher achievers, and some will be like middle achievers, and some will be lower achievers. So understanding those children and based on their requirements, while we are giving a task, that is the one of the best thing which make the children learning fun. And that is the area where the learning is most, like, they enjoy. Along with that, as a facilitator, as a teacher, we also enjoy that. And for that, it is little bit like, we have to understand the child, so we have to keep the anecdotal record of the child. Yes, this child is good in this activity, this task, this skill. It's a process. It's like no, if I have taken like Cosmos higher, and when the child is gone to the next grade, so I'm passing this information to the teachers, like, yeah, these are the information which I have it with me, so these are the feedbacks of this child. So knowing your child and giving a task, giving a differentiated task is very much required. So you must have seen a picture in like very viral picture, right? Asking the fish to climb the tree or climb the coconut tree. That should not happen. So that makes the system worse. Instead of that, you understand your child based on the skill which is required for the child. Please give the task and understand what is the outcome is the child needs to. So our assessment system, like do the examination, and those are different. That will like even that will take so many other things, like how much they scored, how much, that is different. But to make that spark, to give that spark in the child, we should understand the skill of the child, and the child should involve in the learning by taking the ownership of the learning. So always understand your child and then your student and give the task. So how much practically it can be done, that will be a doubt for all of you. How can I do that? Because I have 30 children in my class, 40, 45 children are there in my class. It's a one time a difficult task. First, once you understand them, once you understand your child in the beginning or through the process, it's an ongoing process, like we are collecting the informations and then working based on it. So do that. We can have, I can help you with some activities also, like that will be there as a differentiated task. So we can have a session later, like individual, or you can ask me about it, where we can start a differentiated task with the children. So same task itself in differentiated level also we can give it. So it's like making a terrarium. So one of the tasks which we have done in the school, which I remember, is making a terrarium in science. Another example. So like not every child can make a terrarium as a like very creative. They cannot do it, right? So let few of them have to do it by creating using different items. Let others draw it, others explain it. But the content is reaching to everyone. The content everyone is clear about how what is terrarium. It's about one is making, another one is explaining about it, and third one is demonstrating it. So these way we can make the activities. So this area is one of my favorite area, where which was implemented very well in our lessons long back, not long back, like since around 4 to 5 years. And I am the one who really like to follow the data first to understand, and then the children, and then later I used to take the lessons based on it. So this is one of the area which we all have to think about it, and we have to work on it. Okay. Uh, any doubts on differentiated task, you can ask me either in the end or right now also you can ask me about it.
So let me ask you one question over here.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
coming on to the differentiated task, you told about assessing the student like in the first hand and then giving them the task. Okay. So actually, what I have understood is like if you go for any psychometric analysis or if you go for any standardized test, the problem is that it will have some link to the present situation too. Because
Uh-huh.
when the child is taking the test, actually he or she may be actually like in a situation wherein they can't fully focus on the particular test.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is
Yeah.
one thing, and another one is about the data set. All of this,
Yes.
what I have heard about this, the traditional psychometric test or the standardized test,
Uh-huh.
most of these are already done with a smaller population in the US or in the Europe,
Yeah.
and
Right.
we are trying to mimic that same in the Middle East or in Asian countries, but that
Uh-huh.
fails. Okay, because this is all about the data set. Because whatever
Yes.
training they have done to the system or whatever they have database they have taken as a reference is all
Mm-hmm.
it's all European and US standards. That too
Correct.
in a minimal population. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
what is your thought on this? Have you how like is it 100% like have you experienced it as 100% success or have you
Yeah.
experienced some areas wherein it have failed
Yes, sir.
this particular
So that's
test?
a very good question. Yeah, it's about the practical application of it. In theory, we could say so many things, how it is practically applied. For yeah, that is very true. So for me, sir, I started my career like long back, well, like around 5 to 6, 10 years back. When I started it, I was not even aware of the psychometric test, and to understand the skill level of the child, I was not even aware of it. I never did it also. But when I understood and when I learned about how to evaluate that process and how to implement it, it was really helping me. I should say, right now, if I take a group of students, like I'm with the help of the data or with the help of uh, what is it analysis, what I have proper analysis, that is the main thing. We always get wrong in analyzing it. It's a time consuming process where we have to analyze it and we have to match it with the children. So it is not happening like within one day where I just got the data from them and I'm just like implementing it. Instead of that, what I used to do, I used to like while I collect the data from the assessments, I used to have individual session with the child, or like based on a group of children, I used to take them together and used to have an a section with them, and maybe question answer session, and based on their emotions, skills, all those questions, a questionnaire I used to keep, and we used to have such discussion with the child. And then only I used to come to a conclusion, yes, this will be like suiting for this particular child. This will be suiting for this particular child. Till now, with this practice, for me, when I entered to the class, I was not like, I was having a clear clue about what this child is. For me, maybe I don't know whether it is happening for everyone else. For me, right, I really, these things really helped me to make the lesson better, to understand the child better. Around 90 percentage for me, it really helped.
Okay, okay. So you mean to say
Yeah,
that not only on the standardized test, as a facilitator or a teacher, you should also have an idea about the child.
exactly,
Like,
exactly. That is very much
okay, okay.
required, very much
That
required. We cannot believe only in data. So I am not believing the data which they are sending to us. Instead of that, how it is matching to the conversation which we had with our children, along with the data, may really makes a difference.
okay. So the methodologies that we focus right now on, like analyzing each and every child's capabilities
Yeah,
by using some kind of feedbacks from the facilitators. So I
yes.
think that works fine, right? To
That really
understand
works.
us,
That really
yeah.
works. Making it like little more organized and looking like, after getting this is feedback is really like helping the child. That is for sure. I'm sure about it. That is helping. But to know better about them, some skill test, if we can keep it, that will be really great.
Okay, okay, okay. Understood,
Yes.
understood.
Standardized
Okay,
test, if we are keeping it, that will be really helping us.
okay, okay, okay.
So
Yeah.
even like we have so many joinees in between, we have trainees in between. So if these records are there with us when we are giving to the rest group, so for them also to refer to it and to start their facilitating, that will be really helpful for the
Right now
facilitator.
we are taking it in Notebook LM. So it is
Yeah,
taken by the AI and you can get it from AI.
yeah,
Okay.
that is
So
fine.
that,
Yeah, making it standardized is all, only thing which we required in our school, I feel.
okay,
Making it
okay,
a
okay.
little more like standardized, and everyone should know why we are doing it.
Okay, understood, understood.
Yeah, so
Anyway,
involving everyone
that's a
into
great
it.
thought. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So, which means like instead of that's what I in the beginning I have told, like one activity if you are giving, it is not necessary everyone can do it, right? There are children of multiple capabilities. So, like to make them that act to do make them do that activity, we have to like put it together and to understand which one will do by whom, which one will be do by the other person. That we have to understand as a facilitator. So that can be done, I think. Any
Okay, okay.
other, yeah, yeah. Any other queries?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I just want to know, I'm just curious to know, like, what if, like, some of our students may have some learning disability? You know, we might not be knowing, and parents may not be disclosing it to us also. Some
Exactly.
parents may disclose, most
Yeah,
of them won't disclose. So I just
exactly.
want to, like, whether there are any standard, when we get to see the child, someday being with such students, we will be able to analyze them, seeing their no thought process, seeing their reactions, and we'll be able to analyze them quickly. Now we are in
True.
an online environment, so how could we like analyze such children? Is there any standardized tests or something to understand them?
Yeah. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, so what? I don't know whether the pay. I mean, the payment part of it, how it is, we have to use it. I'm not sure about that internal part. So, what we do back in where I was working before, so it was a standardized test called CAT4, Cognitive Ability Test. Okay, it's called a cognitive ability test. It's called CAT4 exam. So while we are giving there is a standardized test where we will understand the different levels of children, including the learning disabilities. Okay, that learning disability, the children who are having learning like dyslexia, dysgraphia, all those issues will be there, right? So all those can be understand from this test by the points which the child is getting. From that point, we will be able to understand which is the area which they are facing issues. One is CAT4 exam, and as actually back in UAE, I mean, I'm always like connecting with UAE because I worked over there much than here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so what happened, like over there, we have a different department. It's called inclusion department is there. So they are like, we have counselors over there. So what they do, like they have different assessment strategies from their side to understand what are the learning difficulties of the children, and based on these scores they will come with some suggestions like, yeah, these are techniques which you can include in our lesson. There will be pull out sessions being offline, pull out sessions, or like will be online instructions will be given to the parents, and parents will be also like called for it. So if any such
Yes.
issues are with if any such issues are there, there are so many parents who are hesitant to tell us like, yeah, this child is having this issue. So without their
Yes.
consent, without their consent, we cannot put them in a category like they are a special child or special needed child. But along with the help of this department, we used to take like intervention plans. We used to make
Okay.
intervention plans, like along with the normal teaching, we have intervention plan for these children. So, like
Yes.
while
Yes.
we are giving a note, I mean, while we are presenting a PPT for this particular child, sometimes what we do, like all others will be doing copying it from the screen. Instead of this child, will be giving another option while sending a note, like to the teams, we will be sending a file to them, and that copy
Okay.
will be given in the bold letters. Okay, and we'll be
Yeah.
asking the child to read it from them. It's like some dyslexic or dysgraphia type of children will be there, no, for them. And
Okay.
there are provisions in, so that's called inclusion. This is called inclusion. Inclusion is a process where along with the normal student, why we won't say normal, abnormal, nothing like that, along with these children, we are finding a provision for these children also, but they are part of our lessons.
Yes.
Even like while giving the drawing, okay, we'll be asking draw and label the parts or something. So for other children, so what for the children, we'll be giving a different worksheet where the label picture will be given, and they will be having modifications and moderations in their activities.
Yes.
Skill tests are there, ma'am. Skill tests are there. There are so many, but I'm not aware of so many because it was a different department was taken all these tests. But there are so many tests which will be able to understand these children. But without the consent of the parent, we cannot put them in any category. But as a facilitator, we can help them with the ideas which is given by the uh, I mean, whatever we get it from the test.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you so
it's
much.
our yeah, it's our duty to include it. But putting them in category always, we need the consent of our parents.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. That's
Okay,
it. Thank you.
thank you. Any other thing? Any other doubts? It's a long process. I won't say like when we start at the age of like if the child is like starting from the age of 8, when they put up in the school, they are put in the school from 8 to like 15 years. We can't say this child is with us, right? Sometimes they leave the school, everything is there, but still we are responsible to give the records of this child whenever, wherever they are going. So eight, like when the child is living at 10, a year of 10, take the information and pass it to the next school. So actually that is really much required, even for our children when they are studying somewhere. So you have full right to ask full details of the child. What do you have it like? What is a records about this child? What are the anecdotal records of this child? We can ask this to the school. We have the right as a parent. We have the right to do it. Even as a facilitator, also we should also do the follow up of it. Okay. Now, this is also like this is very dialogic classroom. It's like in class reflection. This is also happening. We have seen it's like in our school, most of the activities are based on a dialogic classroom. But only one area which we have to work on will be like instead of keeping the children asking like closed-ended questions, ask them open-ended questions and open-ended questions with proper critical thinking. Yeah, instead of like directly asking a question and getting the answer, give them a situation and ask them to think critically on it, and then give them ask them to and give the response of it. Not yes or no question. Yeah, is it this, is it that, nothing like that. Instead of that, open ended with the varied responses, and by getting the responses we can connect. Like sometimes they may be wrong in their answers. There is nothing, as we used to say, like there is nothing wrong and right, it's all part of the learning. So if they come up with not the expected answer or not the expected outcome of what we have put for them, connect it, connect it and connect it together, and then get in another wherever they can, we can take them to the thinking bit, the next level, take them to it. Don't give any closed-ended question. Instead of that, give open-ended questions. And another one which is happening in our school, even I have noticed about it, student roles, like giving as a listener option. One can question. Different roles will be given to them, right? One will be writing, one will be reading, and one will be presenting, and one will be. So that type of classrooms also can be included. Even in offline also it can be done. This is happening in our collaborative activities or group activities, right? So that is called as dialogic classroom. And then individualism, support individualism in groups. So make them like share opinions, make them do the present the work, and make small groups. So when it is coming to small group, yeah, they are coming to the community where they have to face a lot of competition. Everything is there. But when we are in the learning process, if we are giving a small group to them, it will be helpful for them to express their unique voices and perspectives, rather than in the beginning. I'm telling like you can change it later. When you start some activities in the beginning of it, please make them in the small groups and then give it. Later you can put them in the higher groups. So that can also be included. And this is again coming to our area where transformational teaching. You please include real world application, self-directed projects, and always connect the abstract concept to the real world applications and need of it. What is a requirement? What is a need of like this concept to learn, and how it is related to the real life application? All those can be included. And we are the only one who can transform this teaching learning process. So always engage this transformational teaching in our as a strategy. So these are only the few strategies which I just included over here. So if you have any queries about whichever I could explain you, you can ask me. And most of this must be happening in our lessons also, like the best practices will be happening in our, as a facilitator, we must be doing it. So if you have any such instances, you can share right now, or else if you have any doubts or something which you, with my limited knowledge, whatever I knew it, we can have a discussion about it. So right now, yes.
Ma'am, let me ask one thing. Like
Yes.
right now, whatever points you have shared now about understanding the child, about like understanding their cognitive ability and all. Actually, we can easily devise some system using artificial intelligence. Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
if you could just come up with some ideas, or to all the facilitators. I'm not just telling to you.
Yeah.
To all the facilitators, if they could come up with some ideas based on this discussion. Actually, this webinar was actually shedding light to a lot of areas. Okay, so we could hear a lot of terminologies. We could understand a lot of things, a lot of methodologies. So if everybody could think about something, we can easily implement the system. We can make the system work easily. Okay, so based on our system, based on the students that you are taking classes for, I think if everybody could come up with an idea, share it with Aarathi ma'am. Okay, so that basically we can come up with a good system for analysis. And
Correct.
really, I really appreciate this session, because this session was actually really good. Okay, so this is how the modern education should like look like, and this is how we need to treat our modern learners. Okay, the new era learners, new gen learners. Okay, so I really appreciate that. Okay,
Thank you,
so
sir.
if anybody has got a question, I think you can ask. I was
Yes, sir.
just
Yes, sir. Please, please. So we should have a like global perspective. That is the right thing. So not in like one area which is like traditional teaching and just focus on that. A lot of advancement is happening in the educational field, which none of us, maybe we are not much of aware of it, even including me. Like we are not updating ourselves. So once it is started like updating ourselves with the new trends, we are also learning. We are making our life easier, and other than that we are making our children like aware of, yeah, these are happening in this part of the world, this part of this world. So that is always important in our educational sector right now. So I don't know like whether anyone heard about it. So what I was like, it is related to this children are stop uh, they are not following a facilitator or a teacher. It's like they are doing self learning by themselves, right? So the area which we can help the children is based on their skills. and the soft skills, which are the areas which we can work on, we can have a hold on. So anyway, like while a learner is there, we need a facilitator, or they need a facilitator. If they have to feel that we should be there, we should be there to help them. For that, we have to update ourselves with the new trends. So just because everything is, as in rightly said, everything is there in Google, everything is there in AI. So to make them feel like, yes, we are also there, like, yeah, facilitators are there. What is their role in it? Is it just to come and sit and go? No, nothing like that. Instead of that, we are also part of the process, learning process. Uh, they should feel it only by updating ourselves based on the needs, what is happening in the current situation. So actually, Hash Future School is giving me that platform, which I was not even aware of. So many like programming parts, or it can be like entrepreneurship areas, startup areas, innovations, hackathons, ideathons. This is the area which I am covering right now. So I'm really thankful to that, because I'm getting learning opportunity right now also. So similarly, we have to update ourselves. That's what I believe in. So I think that is the same thing everyone believes in. So any
Exactly.
questions? Yeah.
That was so informative, huh? Like as a mother and as a teacher, like we have the double benefit, right? We can actually nurture our children well by being in the webinar, as well as like we can guide our students. It was so informative.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope a little bit of like, I think you could get it from here. It's nothing. I will share you one link also to all of you. It is about from the Leaf Learning. I don't know what is this platform actually, but they have a article. Like I have got it from LinkedIn again. It's an article based on the strategies of learning. So I will share you in a group. It was a very good article which I felt. So my idea of taking this webinar came from that only. So I'll share that link to all of you. You can, whenever you are free, please go do read it. And one more thing, and these whatever we have mentioned over here, these are just the maybe I would say like basic of some information. There are so many like do a trial and error methods are happening in the system, which even I am also in the learning phase. I am also learning right now. And out of the few which we have introduced, I have just mentioned here, these are the things already we have done in different session. I mean, in schools and all, we have done it. So uh, while while going through it or while updating it, it is very much required. It is very necessary for all of us to know about all these things. Any other doubts? I think this much only my webinar is having it. This much information only right now I have included. Anything which you have to ask me, please do ask.
More than asking, I would like to say one thing about the point you told about conducting tests to get an idea about the actual skills kids have. I think we had this previously in our Hash Future School. I think like when a student newly joins, we used to conduct a test like thing. I think Rabina ma'am might know. 2 years back, we have a like a 2-3 page was there where we need to fill. We would be talking with the student and would be filling it. I'm not sure whether the new facilitators know. When I joined, when I joined first, we had that thing.
Yes,
Rabina,
Regina here. Yes, we had done that for the new
Regina,
students, right?
yes, she might know.
Yes,
She was also there at that time. So to
yes.
get an understanding about the kids' interest, abilities, we used to conduct that. I'm not sure whether we are doing it
And
right now because
what
I
the
have
result
attended
was?
fully admitted students' classes. So
It
earlier
used
we
to
used
show
to do
us the
that.
result, right? Yeah, it shows us
What
the
Yeah,
result.
earlier we had some tests for creativity, then this kind of skill sets and all. We had some tests, but we
Yes.
dropped it only because right now this is what, like, we need something which we can develop. Okay, because basically when I go through the data sets of this standardized test, this was one area where it lacked, because about the data set and the testing that is used to it used to be be in a crowd in the US and the Europe. Okay, maybe we'll have to be, we can easily develop. That's what, if you could, anyway, Nidana ma'am, everyone can just share their thoughts on this. We can easily develop systems. Okay, with AI, that is simply possible. So in what all areas we need to assess, I think that is very crucial. Actually, whichever student comes to our school, no, we need to assess them, and we'll have to plan for personalized lessons for them. That's very important.
Yes, sir. We
Yeah,
can plan a system on how the assessment should be done
yeah.
instead of following the standard type of thing.
Yeah. So what usually happens, like even in not even over here, so in the beginning we started, and the consistency of keeping it and reviewing it, and it doesn't like no like as I told you, if the child is assessed in the year when he joined and when he was 8 years, and later skills won't change, but there are things which will be like improving, and there will be some area where the child will be lacking. So while they are lacking something, we'll be able to understand. Yeah. So one of the thing which I have done to this, or the some of the like maybe it's related to the situation back in their home. That was the one thing which is affecting this child. Maybe some personal reasons. Maybe because our teaching strategies are not suiting this child. So for that purpose, this data will really help us. So that is the main thing which I was trying to say. It's not about just to keep the records and passing into how correct we are using it. What is how we are like consistently using it to as an ongoing process of learning, how we are consistently using it. So for me, like there are different examples. So we have another category called gifted and talented. So gifted category means the child, based on the scores which the child is getting from the standardized test. So how much they have scored, based on that, the child is called as gifted. It's like some values are there, so 9 values are there, like 190, 180, something like that. And suddenly over the time, the child was not showing any interest in the studies, even though he was gifted. So later we were thinking about it. What happened? What suddenly happened to the child? His cognitive ability is really high. His assessments are really good. I mean, the skill assessments are really good. Later we understood the reason was it's about this family issue. Okay, some issues were there in the family which affected the child. It was completely related to the psychological reasons, right? No, psychomotor, some reasons. So so once we understood that, we could take proper actions, like we could take proper actions to proper remedials, and we had a lot of session with the child and with the family. So for all those instances, these things will be helping us. It's not only just to implement the learning style for the child or to pass a record to the other person, but different areas it will be. It's like the whole development of the child can be assessed by using these tests if we are doing it properly. So that's what I believe. For me personally, it really helped me. Right now, like I could say, around 90 percentage of I'm getting the benefits out of it when I am using these tests and using the data of this test during my lesson, I mean with the children. And that is really helping me till now, what I felt. Any mode is fine. It can be AI, it can be like any way, it is fine, but we have to include this in our. So that's it about my webinar. So if there are no other questions, um, or no other this thing, then I think we can wind up. Okay, okay, Rabina ma'am, thank you. So have a good day, everyone.
Thank
So
you
I,
so much, Aarathi
uh,
ma'am. It was a very inspiring session. Thank you, ma'am. Bye bye.
thank you, ma'am, for some of the
Thank you.
information.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.